Hello, everybody. My name is David Carpenter, and I am a senior BSW student at the University of Indianapolis. I'm also this year's chair for the Out of the Darkness Campus Walk at UIndy. If you are watching this, you're probably familiar with the Out of the Darkness Campus Walk and why it's important. But for posterity's sake, I'll do a little recap. Out of the Darkness walks, both campus and community, are one of the many ways the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, or AFSP for short, promotes suicide awareness and suicide prevention. These walks bring communities, such like ours at UIndy, together to create change, to help AFSP reduce the prevalence of suicide in our country. UIndy is one of many universities, both nationally and in the state of Indiana, with an Out of the Darkness campus walk. Our university has hosted an Out of the Darkness campus walk for years. Why? Because UIndy cares about mental health. This shouldn't surprise anyone, especially those of us lucky enough to go to school here. When I was approached by Kelsey Lauren from AFSP and asked if I'd be willing to chair this year's Out of the Darkness campus walk, I jumped at the chance. I first came in contact with AFSP in 2017 when I attended their Indianapolis Out of the Darkness community walk. At the walk, I was surrounded by thousands of people who had all been impacted by suicide in some way, shape, or form. And what I heard was a resounding message of hope and perseverance. Needless to say, I immediately fell in love, and the rest is history. From 2009 to 2015, I drank myself into oblivion. On August 26, 2015, I entered recovery. I have been sober since September 10th of 2015, and I have a program of recovery to thank for this. When I was drinking, I didn't know the meaning of hope. I was hopeless. I was in a constant battle with myself and my self-defeating thoughts. Recovery saved me from myself and introduced me to many amazing people. And through recovery, I found AFSP. Since I came into recovery, I've dedicated myself to helping people out of the darkness, a darkness I'm all too familiar with. AFSP has given me that opportunity, and as a participant of this walk, you have the same opportunity. This being said, I cannot thank you enough for registering for the Out of the Darkness campus walk and for supporting AFSP and by proxy, UIndy. Now, our initial fundraising goal for this year's Out of the Darkness walk was $5,000. As you know, $5,000 is not chump change. Most of you, our walkers, are in college, and I imagine for you, like with me, probably money is sacred and not easy to come by. Most of our cash goes to school tuition, books, and processing fees. While most, if not all of us want to give, we have very little to spare. So while I had faith we would meet our fundraising goal, I expected it to be a slow crawl to the finish line. I could not have been more wrong. Because of you, because of the links you went, sharing your walk page on social media, reaching out to friends and family members, and creating walk teams, we hit our $5,000 fundraising goal at the start of March. That's 2 whole months before the walk. The support we have gotten for the walk has far exceeded my expectations. So what did we do after hitting our first goal? We set a second one. And guess what? We raised $8,000 in almost 2 weeks with a month left until the walk. All this being said, I want to give a few shout outs where shout outs are due. I want to thank Jennifer Leonard and Madeline Abramson for participating in and being part of this year's Out of the Darkness Campus Walk Committee. I also want to thank Francine Carter, our Professor Carter, for being our faculty advisor and keeping us on track. I cannot say enough good things about Kelsey Lauren, our campus walk liaison from the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Without her, the strides we made this year would not have been possible. I also want to thank our top 5 fundraisers. In first place, we have Dr. Greg Clapper with $810. In second place, we have Professor Christy Jansing with $770. In third place, we have Madeline Abramson with $505. In fourth place, we have Alicia Reedy with $500. And in fifth place, we have Hannah Dobbs with $478.85. You all set goals for yourselves and you knocked those goals out of the park. Now I want to thank our top 5 walk teams. In first place, we have the Social Work Association with $1,413.85. In second place, we have Dr. C's team with $810. In third place, we have the Healing Hounds with $760. In fourth place, we have Warren Hall with $540. And in fifth place, we have Walking for Cade with $430. I, the entire walk committee, and AFSP cannot thank you enough for your participation and fundraising efforts. You all made this walk possible. There were also many participants and many teams I did not mention for the sake of time. All of them have played a huge role in the success of this year's Out of the Darkness campus walk at UIndy. Also note, I'm recording this video a few weeks prior to the walk, so the numbers I mentioned and the places of members and teams may change. I'm proud of us. I'm proud of our university. I'm proud of the students, faculty, and staff members at UIndy. You've shown that UIndy cares about mental health. We're not just some small private campus on the south side of Indianapolis. We are part of something great, of a much bigger picture. Because of efforts at school like ours, we can help AFSP reduce the prevalence of suicide in the United States. We can, and we are making a difference. Thank you so much.
Hello, nice to meet you. My name is Jennifer. I am the co-chair for the University of Indianapolis' partnership with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention Out of the Darkness Walk. I just want to welcome all of you to this awesome movement. We're all going to work together to help heal our community. Like, what better could we do than be a part of that? And so I just wanted to share with you that when I was asked to be the co-chair, I was very honored when I was approached by the chair, David Carpenter, because I have come from a dark place, right? Like, I have mental health issues that I'm healing from. I've had addiction issues in the past, alcoholism and drug addiction. I've been sober since August 15th of 2016. Woo! That's a big accomplishment for me. I did have a suicide attempt back when I was 13 years old, and I just want to say that I'm very grateful that I got another chance at life. Today I get to be a mom and a daughter and a sister, and I get to help folks that are struggling get better. I get to spread hope. I mean, it's a pretty good gig, right? So I just want to welcome you all to the Out of the Darkness Walk. This year in 2021, it's been a rough year with the pandemic, but we are all going to come together and support each other in healing and hope. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Francine Carter. I am an assistant professor of social work at UIndy. I'm also the faculty advisor for Healing Hounds, which is this year's group which is sponsoring the AFSP's Out of the Darkness Walk. I'm also the faculty advisor for the Social Work Association, which is heavily involved in this year's walk as well. I'm also the faculty advisor for UIndy's chapter of Active Minds. Active Minds is also a group helping to stamp out the stigma of reaching out for help for mental health and mental unwellness to prevent suicide. I tell you all of this because no matter what you do or who you are not immune to mental health issues or death by suicide. I'm reading this to you today because it's the end of the semester. And for so many of us, especially in college, the end of the semester is very stressful. So even though you're a student and stressed, we professors are stressed as well. So I'd rather read this and get my message across than forget and not get the message across that I really want you to hear. I'm also a wife, a mother, a grandmother, a daughter, a sister, and many other roles. But two of those roles involve suicide. I'm a granddaughter and a cousin to two family members that died by suicide, my grandmother Harriet and my cousin Daniel. My grandmother died when I was in the second grade, and I didn't learn how she died until many years later. My cousin Daniel died when I was a senior in high school. I can still remember the emptiness after both of their deaths and searching for the whys and what could I have done, especially after my cousin Daniel died. I remember that day that Daniel died. I was home from school not feeling well. And later on, we received a call from my step-grandmother. I could hear the pain in her voice, yet she just wanted to talk to my mom and not tell me what was wrong. After hearing that Daniel died by suicide, as well as through the funeral and the following month, I was numb. I was unable to eat. I had a tough time focusing. That intensity has subsided, yet the emptiness has not. The holes in my family and in my life, a longing to understand why and what could I have done, or wonder about the lives they could have lived. The stigma of disclosing depression, anxiety, and even feeling suicidal back then was so significant, yet we still face that stigma today. I too experience depression and anxiety. I take medications for both, and I seek therapy. I refuse to be ashamed. So, what I'm trying to say, what I'm hopefully saying is no one's immune to feelings, and even feelings of despair and numbness and depression and anxiety. I too have had thoughts of suicide, yet decided to get help, to not be ashamed, to reach out, mainly because I knew that there was hope. Secondly, because I know that we can stomp out this stigma. We can make sure that we walk out of the darkness. That's why this organization, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, is so important. Every time I tell this story to myself and to others, from the side of someone left behind, from the side of someone that has gotten help, and someone hoping that someone who was once ashamed is no longer ashamed to reach out, not embarrassed, not thinking something's wrong with them or something's bad about them. What I hope is that we, by doing this, can shine some light on the fact that there is hope, there is a future, that there are solutions to whatever problems we face. So hopefully, what I'm saying today is shining some light and helping you to walk out of your own darkness. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for showing up today. My name is Madeline Abramson, and I'm the president of the UIndy Social Work Association. This walk to fight suicide is so very important and very close to my heart. So I just wanted to say thank you from the beginning. I grew up in a small town in Northwest Indiana. My graduating class was less than 100 people. My entire school, 7th through 12th grade, were less than 700 people. In less than the time I spent at that school, there were 3 people I personally knew and a few others I'd only heard about who died by suicide. I saw from the perspective of a community the devastation and loss that so many people felt. Everyone wondered what could have been if they had only knew or saw the warning signs. Educating people to know what kind of warning signs to look for is so very important. In a more personal example, my family experienced the loss of a family member due to suicide. My grandpa experienced this twice. He had twin daughters born in 1981. One of his twin daughters, Janine, took her life. My grandpa immediately took action when arriving on the scene, but by then it was too late. Unfortunately, her twin sister saw her that day and found her. I wish I could say my family's connection to suicide ended there. My Aunt Jeanette was immediately put into therapy after the whole experience in 1996. Some of her behaviors throughout the years were very destructive, like drinking and driving, never showing up to work, and constantly being late everywhere. My grandpa thought that tough love would help her in these situations. As it turns out, it was her actions crying for help. Maybe she didn't even recognize that she needed help, but her subconscious knew that she did. 17 years after Janine died by suicide, Jeanette did as well in June of 2013. I've shared my family's experience, not to just show what I have been through, but to help talk about that if we had realized what these signs were previously, she might have been here still today. So in hopes of thinking about all these things, that I hope the main thing that comes out of this is that this could help save someone's life. Maybe my aunt thought she was being strong enough to overcome her struggles on her own. We will never know. So if you are feeling that way, please reach out. If nothing comes out from today, I hope that even just one person learns to recognize signs, get help, realize tomorrow will be a brighter day, and realize that they are important and worth being here. I just want to remind everyone that UIndy offers counseling at the Health Pavilion. Please do not be afraid to use this resource, and please do not be afraid to tell people about this resource on campus. It is an amazing resource to use. Thank you all again for taking your time for participating in our event. You are making a difference, and you are amazing. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Azucena Guerrero Ruiz, and today I will be honoring 4 colors. Those 4 colors pertain to purple, green, blue, and teal. Purple represents the loss of a relative or a friend. Green represents a personal struggle or attempt. Blue represents supporting suicide prevention, and teal represents supporting someone who struggles or has attempted. These 4 colors have impacted me on a personal level. To those listening, whether you are supporting suicide preventions, you are a suicide survivor, or have lost loved ones to suicide, there is a way out of darkness. There is light. We will get through this together.
Hi everyone, the colors that I am wearing for today's walk is purple for my aunt and for friends from high school. Also, I am wearing green for self-struggles, and then also blue to support this event. Thank you all so much.
Hi everyone, my name is Faith. For Out of the Darkness Walk, I have chosen to represent the color teal, and I have chosen this color because I do have a couple of friends that have struggled with this for quite a while now. So that is why I have chosen to represent this color for Out of the Darkness Walk.
It's David again, and for this year's bead ceremony, I am representing the color purple and the color blue. Blue is for anybody who's an advocate of suicide awareness, and I think it's something that we should all advocate for, suicide awareness and suicide prevention. And then purple is for those who have lost either a friend or relative to suicide. And shortly after I came into recovery, I lost a good friend of mine. They died by suicide, and I wear this in honor of them. So that is the reason for the colors of my choosing for the bead ceremony. Thank you. Everyone, I'm David Carpenter.
And I'm Jenny Leonard.
Hey everybody, we just want to take a second to thank our sponsors for this year's UIndy Out of the Darkness virtual campus walk. So Jenny, who do you want to thank first?
I want to give a shout out to the Healing Hounds. You guys have come through, you've helped us raise funds, we've networked, we've gotten other clubs involved. You guys are amazing.
Awesome, and thank you, Jenny. And I just want to say thank you to Youth Connections as well, down in Franklin. They're an amazing organization helping families down in that county, doing supervised visitations, amazing things. Thank you so much for your sponsorship, for helping the cause. We love you both. And that's it. So thanks, guys. Have a good one.